Hello, Hold My Drink family. Welcome back. Today, I'm just going to warn you ahead of time, it might be a little bit all over the place in today's episode. The topic of today's episode is supporting a partner in sobriety. And the reason that it's going to be all over the place is because I don't currently have a partner. I don't have a boyfriend or significant other at all. I have been sober for 10 months and I have been single for 7 months. 8 months or something. I had a really supportive partner in the beginning of my sobriety. So I am going to be speaking a little bit from experience with how he kind of managed me getting sober and like adjusting to that. And then also how I would want to be treated from a partner now or if I was starting over again in sobriety. And this could be for you to listen to as a sober person or for you to send to your partner while you're starting on your sober journey, and maybe just give them some tips and things that they could consider when communicating with you as a newly sober person. Also, I just want to say, if you have any other tips that you want to share with me, or you just want to reach out, ask questions, connect with me, whatever, you can always email me at holdmydrinkpodcast@gmail.com. holdmydrinkpodcast@gmail.com. You can also DM me on TikTok or leave a comment here on Spotify, but email is like a direct way to communicate with me, or in the Facebook group. Anyway, feel free to always reach out if you want to chat further about anything or share your thoughts on an episode or anything like that. But yes, let's get into this episode talking all about supporting your partner in sobriety. Welcome to Hold My Drink, a sobriety podcast. This is a no judgment zone. I really freaking like my life without alcohol. You're not alone. I hope you feel seen. Sobriety has changed my life completely. Okay, so like I said, today's episode is for anyone, whether you're the sober person or the supportive partner, but I'm going to do this episode speaking to the supportive partners. So I'd like to say, first off, thank you for tuning in and listening to an episode of our podcast to support your partner. I know that it means the world to them, because having a supportive partner can literally be the difference between someone being successful in sobriety or failing at sobriety. Having your support and having you there for them, and even just knowing that you're listening to this, is a huge first step, showing that you are willing to help and participate, and that just means the world to them. So on their behalf, I thank you so much for tuning in and listening and being willing to be a supportive partner. Like I said, I had a supportive partner in the beginning of my sobriety, and that just made a world of a difference. I was so grateful to have that person kind of on my side, because he could have totally reacted differently when I said that I was going to get sober, and he reacted in the most perfect way. So you're probably already doing a great job supporting your partner, so keep at it. And with that said, let's get into a few of the tips I have for you as the supportive partner. So number one on my list is blind support. And this, to me, basically means, like, when they say they're not going to drink, it's not a ton of follow-up questions like, well, what about in this situation? Or how are you going to deal with that? Or why are you doing that? Or are you sure you think you can do that? Or how's your family going to react? Or, you know what I mean? Just all these kind of pushback type of questions. And blind support is the key. That is what we want in sobriety, in the very beginning at least. Like, we can dive deeper into the reasons behind our sobriety and how we're going to address all these different situations in life. But in the beginning, blind support is key. Just like, okay, wow, that's awesome. I'm so proud of you. That's such a healthy decision. I think it's going to be great for you. Like, yes, let's do this. And don't doubt that they can do it. We're already doubting ourselves when we first get sober. We're like, I don't know if I could do this. Oh my God, could this last forever? I don't know. We're freaking out about a million different things. So please, as a supportive partner, don't doubt your sober partner. Just say, okay, amazing. Like, I know you can do that. That's going to be incredible. And if the sober person fails down the road, then that's a bridge you can cross. But what we need from our supportive partners is blind support and to not be doubted. encourage us, trust us, and support us in the very beginning. Just be a yes man or yes woman to your partner. Okay, number 2, positive thinking. I think that it's important to hone in on the positives in sobriety for the person who's quit alcohol or for the supportive partner. We want to think about all the positive changes that are happening. That could be physical. If you think your partner has gorgeous glowing skin a week into their sobriety, feel free to let them know. Or if you think that maybe they're being so sweet and positive and understanding, compliment them on that. Just say like, wow, I've noticed that you've been like so kind and going out of your way to be sweet to me, and I just really appreciate that. Point out the positive things, mention them, and hyperfixate on them in your sober partner. I think that focusing on the positives is key for success in sobriety for anyone, the partner or the sober person. So hone in on the positive things and feel free to give your partner lots of positive compliments. And if they're struggling, I think, of course, everybody's going to need something different. Like, there are ways that you can help them. You just have to ask and communicate. But I think focusing on the positives is really key. So if they're having a rough night and like thinking about alcohol one evening or something, instead of like honing in on that and like, why are you feeling that way? Like, this sucks, you're being negative, whatever. Instead say, why don't we go on a walk? Or why don't we go to get some ice cream? Like, spin things positive. They're almost like positive distractions. But that's just a little tip from me. Your partner will be so grateful if you're just like, let's go get some froyo. What do you say? It's kind of redirecting the alcohol craving and then also focusing on a positive thing. Like, yeah, let's go get a sweet treat. Think about all the calories that you're not consuming from drinking alcohol. Let's go get some ice cream. Whatever. You know your partner best, but feel free to distract them with positive things, take them out to do something fun. I think all that is great. And number 3, which that is literally what I just said in number 2, I wrote down encouragement, and saying like, you look amazing, you're being so sweet, whatever. Just saying things like, keep going. I'm so proud of you for this. I think you're doing an incredible thing. Just kind of reinforcing that they've made the right decision. Because the last thing that we want as newly sober people is to think that we've made the wrong choice. And so you telling us all the time, like, you're doing the right thing. I'm so proud of you. Keep going. You're doing great. You look amazing. You're so fantastic. I'm so proud of you. Like, all that type of stuff is really great. Please just go out of your way to be sweet to your partner. They will so appreciate it. Number 4, go out to eat. Now, hear me out. I was never a foodie. I was never a food person or a restaurant person, because the whole reason that I was going to the restaurant was to drink, and there happened to be a little bit of food. And so I didn't really care about what the food was like or where we were going to eat. And something kind of exciting in my early sobriety was that my partner and I could go out to eat food and the bill would be really low, and it would actually be food centered, because it's not about the wine or the margarita or the special whiskey cocktail that they have. Like, it's actually about the food. And so you can try all these fun new cuisines, and it kind of feels like a whole new world as the sober person who used to drink a lot. The whole restaurant and going out world, it's all so new. And also, your sober partner becomes a pretty cheap date. Let me tell you right now, I was shocked when I started going out to eat, when you don't have, a bottle and a half or 2 bottles of wine on the tab at the end of the night. Going out to dinner, going out for date night is really cheap. You now have a cheap date, so be thankful for that. But yeah, I think planning date nights like around food or a new restaurant that you want to try. Let's go get lunch here. Like, let's go try this new Indian place that just popped up. Food and food experiences are really fun, because we've previously hyperfixated on alcohol, like on the liquid side of going out. And so it's kind of fun to focus on the food and the solid part of the meal. Wow, that's a weird way to put that, but you know what I'm saying. So say, let's go try this restaurant tonight. What do you say? Because it's fun to dive into something else. If you can't drink, it's like fun to get excited about going out for food or a new food you want to try, a new place you want to try. So number 4 was just go out to eat. Number 5. Okay, this one is going to be different for everybody. I put, if you can, don't drink with your partner in the very beginning of their sobriety. My partner that I had in the beginning of my sobriety was so understanding, and it's actually wild to realize that he didn't have a problem at all. This guy had the healthiest relationship with alcohol I may have ever seen. So he had no problem just not drinking for the beginning. He basically never drank at home, only when he was out with friends or just out at restaurants, bars, whatever. And I always drank at home. So sometimes he would drink with me, but then when I got sober, it was kind of like a no alcohol in the house type of thing. And he was totally on board with that. Also, he does other things, puff puff, if you know what I'm saying. So he still had his vice, but he didn't drink alcohol in front of me at home in the beginning, which I think was really helpful. And if you're able to do that with your partner in the beginning, I think that is awesome. And you should do that. I think it just shows so much support, and their sobriety is also your priority, which it doesn't have to be. Of course, it's their choice and it's on them and they're doing their own thing. You can technically do whatever you want. But if you want to go out of your way to be such a supportive partner, maybe don't drink with them just in the very beginning at home. And this is a case-by-case situation. So maybe communicate with them. Maybe say, does it make you uncomfortable if I continue to drink or whatever? It all depends on how you personally drink at home or how you drink at all. It depends on your relationship with alcohol. And so every situation is going to be different. I kind of got annoyed if we were out at a restaurant and my partner didn't order an alcoholic drink, because I know that he likes to do that with a meal. He really loved pairing food and drink. And so just because I wasn't getting an alcoholic beverage, it didn't mean that he didn't have to get one, and it would bother me if I knew that he was not drinking just to support me. So I don't know. I was playing all sorts of mind games with him and myself, and God bless him. He was great. But communicate with your partner and just try to decide what the best way forward is. They're probably going to say something like, this is just me. You can do whatever you want. That's probably what their response will be to that conversation. But if you want to maybe bring up the idea of what about no alcohol in the house for the first month or something like that? I'll get a drink when we go out, but not at home. I don't know, just a suggestion. You have to do whatever's right with you and communicate with your partner. But that really was helpful and kind of showed me just how awesome he is and how awesome my partner was in the beginning of my sobriety. He was there for me fully, and he recognized that having alcohol in the house in the beginning may have been triggering for me. So he just didn't. You can't avoid, we had a bar set with some whiskey and things like that. But he wouldn't actively go out and buy new beers or White Claws or ciders or whatever. And I appreciated that. So for me, I really appreciated that, but communicate with your partner and see what will work for you guys as a partnership. Number 6, prepare them for things. Okay. Like I said, this episode is going to be all over the place, and I don't even know what I'm trying to say in half of these things. But yeah. Okay. In sobriety, knowing what to expect is key, because if we're going to your friend's Halloween party or something, I would want to know who is going to be there, how many people, is there going to be anyone I know? Do you think they're going to have drinks there? Is there going to be a bar? Should I bring my own? I just want to know the details. And so I think as the supportive partner, sharing as many details with your sober partner is really helpful. And just prepare them. If you know things about the evening, let them know. I think they just want to be communicated with clearly so that they can prepare themselves. Because think about it. As a newly sober person, everything is new to you. That first house party, that first bar experience, that first time hanging out with the in-laws, as a sober person, it's all new experiences, and we are learning as we go. And so if you as the supportive partner can prepare us as much as possible, that's really, really helpful. And maybe say, hey, I'm thinking that we should pick up some non-alcoholic beverages because I'm not sure that they're going to have any. So why don't we go grab a pack of soda? Or even better, I already picked up a 12 pack of your favorite diet root beers on my way home. So I have those to bring to the party tonight. Like, helping however you can with being prepared and helping your sober partner know what to expect is really, really helpful. All right, number 7, I have let the person bring up their secrets and problems, don't probe. And again, this is going to be one that just depends on the relationship that you and your partner have and what you feel like they need. But I do believe that the person struggling or the person getting sober needs to bring up their past to you. It was so funny. I brought up to my partner at the time that I was going to get sober. And, we were like in that together, doing that sober thing. And he didn't question me at all. He didn't bring anything up. He didn't say anything about my past or how I used to drink. But then about 2 weeks into my sobriety, we were out on a walk and I just told him you probably already knew this, but I definitely had a problem with alcohol. I'm not just quitting for my health and to lose weight and all that, like I had kind of said I was. I definitely had a problem. And there are things that you didn't know. And at that point, he used the opportunity to say sometimes I had noticed that you would already smell like beer when you came over around noon to hang out. And I would just be like, okay, she's starting early. And I started crying when he told me that. I was just like, oh my God, that's my biggest fear. That was my biggest fear as a heavy drinker, is that someone would discover me. And all along, my boyfriend knew that I was kind of drinking behind his back. And he never brought it up, which is fine. Yeah, I truly think that the person with the alcohol problem can only get sober if they truly want to get sober. So I don't think him saying something to me would have made me get sober any sooner. I think it would have made me actually angry and maybe even drink more. So anyways, he didn't bring up my problem or things that he was noticing while I was a drinker. And then when I chose to get sober, he still didn't bring it up. He didn't say I noticed you would drink at some inappropriate times, or you'd show up drunk to things, or you'd drink a lot more than me, or, I found that beer can under the seat in your car, or this, that, the other thing. He never said any of that until I brought it up. And even then, he was very gentle with me and slowly started to say, I consistently found cans in your trunk, when we were putting away our golf clubs. He was just so gentle. And it was kind of that perfect environment to confess that I had a real problem. And he's actually the only person in my real life that I have fully confessed my problem to. Even he didn't know everything, but we were able to talk about pretty openly some of the things I did. And our relationship, while it didn't last very much longer for other reasons, our relationship got really strong during that time because I felt like I was literally so filter free. There was nothing more that I was hiding from him. And that was a really, really good feeling. But none of that was brought up or discussed until I opened the doors for that. And once I did open the doors, he took full advantage and asked some questions and brought up some things that he had noticed, and nothing in a rude, degrading kind of way, criticizing kind of way. It was all just in a, I support you in this sobriety journey because I've noticed a couple of these things. It wasn't critical or anything like that. So be gentle with your partner and wait until they bring it up to ask questions. And as the partner, you're not a freaking doormat. You deserve to be part of the experience and part of the recovery if they're letting you in. If they're asking you to watch this podcast, listen to this podcast, they're wanting you to be a supportive partner. So you deserve some things as a supportive partner as well. And so if there are questions or things you need clarified, you are welcome to ask those with your partner. I think that just wait until they kind of open the doors for the questions or things like that, because they will. At least me, I felt like such a huge relief when I finally opened up the door for conversation with my partner. Again, it made me feel like I could just be filter free, like there were no more secrets, no more hiding. It was such a relief. And so I imagine that your partner is going to do that as well. And I think be supportive, like I said in the first bullet point, blind support. And then when the opportunity arises, feel free to dive a little deeper because you deserve to be a part of the sober journey. If they're requesting that you be a part of the sober journey, you deserve some things too. So moving on to the last one I have on my list, number 8, understand that they might not be as chill as you. Okay, this is a very personal experience, I feel like. No, maybe more people experience this. But like I said, my partner still did the puff puff every night. And so he got to relax every night. He did turn off his brain. He was able to just watch TV and veg out or play video games or whatever. But me, in the beginning of my sobriety, I was so hyperactive, so restless. I needed to be doing things at all times. I was out there in the dark doing yard work with a flashlight. I was doing arts and crafts. I was cleaning. I was sweeping. I was vacuuming. I was painting. I was doing all sorts of stuff. And I think in the beginning, he may have found it a little bit frustrating that I couldn't just sit and watch a movie with him. So that's something to understand. Especially if your partner, your sober partner, used to drink alcohol in order to chill and relax on the couch and have a movie night with you, they're probably not going to be as chill in the early days of their sobriety. That will change. That will improve. I'm 10 months sober now, and I can totally just chill and have a movie night. In fact, I love it. But in the beginning, no chance in heck I'm just sitting on the couch and staring at a screen. I had to be doing other stuff. Whether that was some sort of, arts and crafts while we're watching the movie, playing on my phone while we're watching the movie. I was unable to just sit and focus on a movie. It wasn't possible. So understand that your partner might be in that hyperactive state for several months in the beginning of sobriety. Everybody's different, but for me, it was several months. I'm still not that chill, but I am better and I'm capable of having a movie night, for God's sake. But in the beginning, I was not. And the only time that I got angry or frustrated or jealous of my partner was when he would do the puff puff and I didn't have anything to turn my brain off. I was grateful that I had my recess drinks. If you don't know what those are, they are adaptogen drinks, RECESS. You can get them at Target or Amazon. They are supposed to kind of chill you out, and whether they work or not, who knows? It's probably all just in your head, but it's still a fun special drink. You can put it in a wine glass with ice and feel that you're having a fun, relaxing evening with your partner. They're not addictive. It's not alcohol. It's not THC. It's an adaptogen drink. It's from plants, and I don't really notice that much of the effects, but it really helped me in the beginning of sobriety, just even mentally feeling like I'm having a chill out drink type of thing. When my partner was chilling out himself, I got a little angry or sad or frustrated that I couldn't chill out also. I was so angry that I couldn't turn off my brain. And I already knew that I was dealing with some ADHD symptoms and things like that. And so that on top of being newly sober, I was just angry that I couldn't turn off my brain, and he could. He could just sit there and do nothing and actually relax and rejuvenate before the work day the next day. I couldn't relax, and it was frustrating. So the recess drinks really helped me. And then, I guess it's just being there for your partner, understanding that they're not going to be able to relax, and that might make them a little bit jealous. I don't really have any advice for this. It's more just being aware that that's the case. Maybe you do art projects with them or plan date nights or do yard work with them or whatever. But really, my partner was so supportive, and he was perfect in every way. Not that he had ever dealt with something like that before, but he just knew how to be such a perfect partner in that situation, which I'm so grateful for. But the only time that I got angry was when he was able to chill out every single night with his THC, and I was not able to chill out. I had nothing. I was not smoking. I was not drinking. I had nothing. And I found it I found it annoying. I got angry that he could just sit there and relax and turn off his brain when I was not capable of it. I think just being aware that that might be the case and then going about it however you want with your partner, figuring out a strategy that works for you, how you can make them feel comfortable. I don't know. That was just the only part of my kind of partnership where I got angry. And it wasn't even his fault. Like, you're allowed to relax and decompress however you want. I'm the one getting sober. It's not your problem, it's mine. But in the beginning, I found it a little bit annoying that he could chill out and I couldn't. And it was also like I can tell when he's been smoking because, you know, you don't sound as smart. You are chilling out and you're not having like super intelligent conversation. And then me as the sober person who has a hyperactive brain and is going at 100 miles an hour, I'm like asking him about aliens and grammar and planning a whole trip for us. And he's like, I'm just trying to watch Bob's Burgers and sit on the couch. And I'm like on level 10 and he's on level 1. So that's the only kind of disconnect we had. So just figure out how you can deal with that with your partner. I don't know what the solution is, but just something to be aware of. And I apologize for this episode being so all over the place. It's such a case-by-case situation, and I think I'm like nervous to say anything definitively because everyone's situation is so different, and every sober person desires different things from their partner. So you really have to just chat with your partner, get a good idea of what they need. You know your partner best. And again, thank you on their behalf for listening to this. They're so grateful. And you are such a good partner for being willing to support your partner through their sober journey. I truly think that couples can be successful through sobriety. Like, of course they can, but they can like thrive through sobriety because the sober person is getting sober to be a better human being for themselves, for you, for your family. They will become a better person. It's just a little bit of an adjustment. So you're kind of like investing. You're supporting their sober journey to be rewarded in the end. Like you as the supportive partner, your family as a whole, your kids, everybody will be stronger and better through this sober journey. The beginning is just a little shaky and they need your support. So thank you for being supportive and thank you for listening to this episode. And I'll see you next time for another episode of Hold My Drink. Bye, guys.